Well, hello. Welcome, everybody, to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Hey, guys.
Look very casual today.
I am.
Yeah, sweatpants.
A flexible day going on
All
today.
right. I like to hear that. Anything to do with your cubed meat yesterday?
Oh,
last night?
I got to thank you again publicly this time for my bag of cubed meat.
Dude, this
Hit the
played out.
spot.
Yeah, I was like a child Christmas morning up there. Like, oh, I can't wait for Jay to walk up here.
Did you think I wouldn't take it?
The more I thought about it, knowing you, yes, of course you're going to take that.
Let's set the scene.
Okay. T-Roy is upstairs, and he's making his famous chicken pot pie. He's also making a batch of his delicious chili. Chicken pat. Not the one that burned my hand. He does it, makes it, from scratch, and it's delicious. Well, he bought a bunch of meats, including delicious stew-type cubed meat from Costco. Costco is not known for their relatively small portions, and so he overmeated. And so when he got to the production of putting this together, he was left with a whole thing of cubed meat. And he's like, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. So all of a sudden, he just throws it on the oven. And he starts cooking it. It looks delicious. I said, what are you going to do with that?
Just sauteed it, right?
Yeah, he just sauteed it up. Threw a couple spices. Didn't do much to it. And I said, he said, yo, man, the guy's still here? I said, yeah, they're downstairs. He said, you think Jay will want this meat? I'm like, what?
There's like a whole bowl. It's got to be 2 pounds of beef.
Yeah, it's in a white, Tupperware bowl. And I was like,
Am I exaggerating? It's
No.
got to be 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of beef.
Absolutely. And I'm like, would Jay want a bowl of cooked cubed meat? I'm like, I don't know if that question's ever been asked of. Like, has that ever happened before where you've been at someone's house and they offer?
It was an extraordinary circumstance.
It was.
I was aghast.
You were like, what? And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Here comes Jay. This interaction could go myriad ways. You could go, are you out of your fucking mind? Why would I want a bowl of cubed meat you just grilled? No thanks.
Or I could politely decline. I could suggest perhaps it be placed in your refrigerator for later consumption.
You were adamant.
Freezed even.
You were beside yourself. The idea that this fresh bowl of cubed meat
Would be given away.
willy-nilly. Willy-nilly, and it's fight. You were like, I just don't understand. And we're like, yo, dog, we ain't got time to eat all
It was
this.
right off the stove. It wasn't like,
yeah.
hey, I've got this cubed meat that's been sitting in my fridge for 3 days. I don't want it to go
Yeah.
bad. It was right off.
And you were like, finally, after 5 minutes of debate, like, put it in the fridge. And Troy was, I go, why don't we just put it in the fridge? And he goes, why? So we can just go into the fridge and throw it away 4 days later after no one touches it? And I was like, all right, make the offer to Jay, as absurd as that is. And I was giddy, so much so that, and you were like, you ate one, and you were like, it's absolutely scrumptious.
Yeah.
This meat is delicious. And you asked one thing. You said, can I leave the bowl here? Do you have a Ziploc bag? I can take some bagged cubed meat home.
Reasonable request, right?
Yeah,
And then a second minor request was, can I have a paper towel to wipe my hands because I'm going to be reaching into that bag of cubed meat on my way home.
And as soon as you left the house, I regretted bigly the decision to give away the cubed
It was
meat.
such a windfall. It made me think by the time I got to the end of the drive, I'm like, they playing games with me? Is this like baby meat or something?
Yeah, I was like, what did you do? Did you put mushrooms in there, or is that weed infused? He's
Right.
like, no, man, it's just cubed meat. I was like, all right.
Just gave me cubed meat.
Just gave cubed meat. I was like, you know what? Fuck, man. Can we take that back? Can I run out and take that back? Because that would make a delicious snack mid-afternoon with some A1 sauce.
For Russell coming home at 10 p.m. last night, it was godsend.
Really?
He was like, what's with the meat in the bag?
You're not gonna believe this.
Whose is this? I'm like, you can have it, man. I ate about half of it on the way home.
I knew you would have. I go, that bag is not going to make it into the house. Troy was like, yeah, by the time he gets home, he'd be like, yeah, Gab, look what the guys gave me. And he's got 4 pieces of meat in a fucking giant bag.
That was great. Thank you to both
Yeah,
of you. I mean,
absolutely. And I want you to know that I regret it. I was so giddy for your response to the absurdity of being offered such a gift that I totally lost sight of the fact that it was a delicious bowl of
Yeah.
meat. I would have loved that this afternoon.
it's the time of giving, righty?
Sure. Yeah.
Cubed meat.
I still, if anyone else has been offered a bowl of cubed meat before when leaving someone's house, I'd love to hear your story. Because I was like, dude, that's a first. It's got to be a first.
It was. Hey, insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 30 years in the business. He offers all types of insurance coverage, including but not limited to.
I didn't realize this was even happening. Health, home, commercial, business, other,
You forgot
driving.
auto.
And driving, yes, driving insurance.
Yes.
Call Brent Wassick for your driving insurance, 734-455-1900.
I imagine if someone called him and went, "I'm looking for driving insurance," he'd go, "Call someone else, dude."
I think he'd take it.
Maybe he would. He's a better man than I. Boy, the Patriots, New England Patriots, are they up to tomfoolery again?
It appears so.
Is wool being pulled? Shenanigans,
Certainly appears that way.
dude. Of all teams,
Makes me wonder what they've been doing the whole time, right? You
Yeah.
get caught like this, like, okay, this isn't the first time this year you've done this.
we remember, what was it? 07. I believe it was around 07. Spygate happened, where they were videotaping teams' practices and kind of getting their signals. And
Were they
unfortunately,
doing that via drone, or were they just setting it
no,
up?
they were sending staffers over there that were secretly doing it. But the problem is the NFL is so incestuous, and guys never lose their jobs, really. They just go from team to team. So you end up with coaches that were with the Patriots are now head coach of the Jets, Eric Mangini. And he's like, those motherfuckers are taping us. Found the guy, and that blew up. You know, it blew everything up. But I forgot the level of that went to, and that's really the reason that Deflategate. Remember the whole issue with Tom Brady and the footballs? That's why they went so hard after that, because they NFL knew they fucking dropped the ball on Spygate. That was so bad, and the punishment was not harsh enough. But yeah, now they've got a videographer. What do you know, in Patriots gear?
In Patriots gear.
Yeah, you know, they do a series, and it's pretty cool, actually. I did watch one of the segments. They're like 10-minute video segments for their website, where it's called Do Your Job. And so they'll follow, like, you know, one of the guy that handles their uniforms and washes them and then gets them ready for the equipment guy.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, so it's all behind the scenes, like what this guy's day is like. And so one of the people that they're documenting in this thing was apparently one of their head scouts, one of the scouts on the team. And so it's common to send scouts to an upcoming team's, you know, on your schedule, their game. And so Cleveland, Cincinnati, boy, what a game to be at. Cleveland, Cincinnati. Holy shit. Is that punishment or what? So this scout was, you know, Cincinnati is who they play this week. So he was there over the weekend.
Where would you rather that game be, Cleveland or Cincinnati?
Does it matter? Does it matter? Either or?
I'd rather it be Cincinnati,
Cincinnati.
given it's so much further south.
Really?
Yeah.
Potentially warmer, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. But doesn't Cincinnati have...
Cincinnati. The
Cincinnati
You're right up,
Cincinnati
you're right up
ball.
against Kentucky. That's kind of
Yeah.
a cool.
You can walk across a bridge. There's
Yeah.
a pedestrian bridge that takes you into Kentucky.
Right. Exactly.
Does Cincinnati still play on AstroTurf?
I mean, they play on
'Cause if
what
they
this
do,
new
I don't
stuff
wa-
is. They play when the same
Right.
thing the Lions play on.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. I want
that have to
real
do with
grass.
you?
What's that? I just think the game looks way better.
To do with you.
Like,
Good question, E.
It has to do with me because
Your
the
knees hurt
optics-
more when
no,
the players play on that?
My knees hurt the same amount every day, no matter what they play on. But I don't like watching it. I don't want to watch a Bills game on that shitty AstroTurf.
U of M?
No, U of M's got grass now, don't they? Or they have the fake? They have the fake shit. Some bother me more than others, but Cleveland, I like the Browns on that dirt field. Like it's all beat up. I don't know. It's stupid. But so that's why I'd rather be in Cleveland.
Okay.
If Cincinnati has that, I haven't watched the game of Cincinnati's.
they
unless
do. They have the fake
They do.
Lions stuff.
I want nothing to do with it. So anyway, this scout is there, and one of the Cincinnati Bengal.
Did he need to scout
boys,
those teams, by the way?
1 in 12 Bengals, a
Like,
1 in
they
12
can't-
Bengals team.
If you're gonna like do
Like, yes, this
shenanigans,
confirms that they suck. They
Yeah.
suck, both of these teams.
But like, if you're gonna do shenanigans, like you're doing something.
Any
Why
given
don't
Sunday,
you
eat. Any
fucking-
given Sunday.
Why don't you go against at least risk? If you're gonna go big, risk on teams that are worth the risk.
Well, they do them too, probably.
I know, but the more teams you do, the more chances something's gonna come up.
Well, this guy apparently
To
set
your
up
point, E, this shows how widespread this is, right?
Yeah.
Like,
perhaps.
Or I guess
regular it is.
Well, I was gonna say, it just hit my head. The other thought could be though is if you only did certain games. If you didn't do the same routine every time, maybe it would look weird. Maybe people would start to see like, how come he looks like this for against Kansas City, but he was kind of not like that for Cincinnati. So maybe you got to do the same.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the problem is if the argument would be, yeah, we're filming this thing for this documentary. We cleared it with Cleveland where the game was. So the Cleveland Browns gave media credentials to these guys, and they were setting up a tripod and all this stuff. Well, the reason the Bengals guy was tipped off is he's like, they filmed our sideline for a whole quarter. And it's like, and the argument.
Yeah, what's that have to do with our scout or their scout,
Right.
that they're supposed to
You know,
be covering?
But wait a minute, like, honestly, that's what it is. I didn't even look into any of this. So the thing is that they're going to games, and instead of filming some of the actual game, they're just filming the sidelines for, like, plays and stuff? Couldn't they just have a guy sit? Couldn't he have just sat there and took notes? I mean, what's the difference?
Why don't they steal that laminated card they all hold?
Well,
that probably is the key to everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, or when they hold up their giant thing of like Mickey Mouse on it.
They don't do that in the pros.
Yeah, they don't. No, well, I don't know.
Look, I
because
understand that it's cheating, but
they want it on. If this was going on, and there's nothing that at this point, because they're denying the shit out. Bill Belichick's like, I've never watched a video that these guys do. Kind of insulting to the guys that put those
what are
together.
they doing them for?
Work really hard. It's for the website.
Oh, those ones. I thought you meant he said he's never watched any of these scout videos. Like he has scouts and he's just like, yeah, I don't even fucking pay attention
Yeah, I've
to that
never
shit.
even seen them.
I
Whatever.
set up my own game plans. They're paid because we technically have to have them, I guess. But
Well, the argument would be, yeah, we're filming this docu-series, whatever, but we're just shooting B-roll. We're getting some. You wouldn't have it fucking stationed on the
for
sideline.
4 hours. Right?
No, for a whole quarter. So a good 45 minutes, half hour, whatever it is, that you're just focused on the sideline.
I think they'd be more clandestine than that,
Yeah.
That's noticeable. You'd think I don't know, just have like another camera or something in one of those bags, right? One of those bag cameras.
Can't you get them in glasses now?
Yeah, you can get them anywhere. He's probably been filming this whole thing for 6
Hell yeah.
years.
Right. It's a web series I have. You guys have never even talked about it or seen it.
That's where E makes all his money.
Right. That's why I don't care about whether it does anything.
It's his version of
Making
the
fake
Truman,
on the side.
the Truman Show. We have a huge following
Yeah.
in Japan.
Right.
We're a
Oh,
huge-
what will Jay do now?
Jesus Christ! They looked like they were serious this time.
It's not from my perspective. It's like I only see
It's
you two. They never.
just us. They have no idea what Jesus looks
We're
like.
huge stars in Malaysia. I mean, huge.
Huge. So yeah, Belichick said didn't have anything at all to do with this. The Patriots did confirm they did it. They said, "Hey, look, our guys turned over their tapes to the NFL immediately. We were cooperating full extent. Blah blah blah." But I don't know if it was any other team.
Yeah, that's just
you
it,
would
right?
Probably go, okay, I guess, knock it off. But that Spygate thing. And I tried to remember the
Spygate
details.
is one thing because that was like what they had done is like got cameras in for like a game or like the Thursday walkthrough or something. Like I'm looking,
Just
I get
overtly.
right. Like I get cheating is cheating, but I just
Dude, listen to some
don't
of the
understand
details.
though. Okay.
Because I've got just to refresh our memories because I don't remember.
No, but I'm saying like this. I don't understand honestly.
Because if you're focused there and you're trying to match the plays with what their coaches are signaling.
Any little advantage.
Any tiny advantage. So
I
it's
know,
like
but-
when this coach calls this is what they're running. And then, the way they were doing it. So they had this system,
then
a detailed,
let every
efficient
team do it, I
system
guess.
for finding out opponents' plays. A backup quarterback at the time, John Freeze, was told that the Patriots had a tape of the Buccaneers signals. He was instructed to memorize them. And during the game, watch Bucs D coordinator Monty Kiffin and tell the offensive coordinator at the time, Charlie Weiss, the defensive play, which Weiss would relay over the radio headset to Drew Bledsoe. They streamlined this system eventually, finding a more efficient way to note the plays and relay the information, cutting out the quarterbacks with only a few people, including
Bledsoe.
Belichick.
So this goes way back then.
This is from the original Spygate.
Bledsoe was still involved on the team at that point.
2007?
Brady took over for him and never looked back.
That was like
Yeah.
2001 or something.
2002.
But that's
Yeah.
when. But that's what I'm saying.
Bledsoe might be on the sideline.
He was doing it this long, though. They were doing it this long. And Bledsoe probably was there
Okay.
for another couple years. Soon, advanced scouts would be sent to the games of upcoming opponents to film their play signals. The scouts would go undercover as media members with media credentials listed under Patriots TV or Kraft Productions, and were prepared with excuses as to what to say if they were asked what they're filming, which is exactly what happened here. We're not with the Patriots. This is for Kraft Productions. That's what they said this time too.
Yeah.
Each video sequence would usually include 3 shots: the down and distance, the signal, and as a little in-house joke, a nice shot of the titties of the cheerleaders on every tape, either their skirts or their titties. The tapes would then go to Belichick, who would give it to a buddy of his, Ernie Adams, an amateur historian of pro football, who would have the tapes edited and match the notes of the play calls and signals to the action on the field. They started a library of videotapes from teams all across the league. The system grew to the point the Patriots would add players cut from upcoming opponents to look at Adams' tapes and judge their effectiveness. So this player's cut, they'd pick him up and then make him sit down and watch and be like, is this still what they're doing?
Wow, man.
Other methods, sending low-level Patriots employees to sneak into visiting locker rooms during pregame warm-ups and steal the play sheet. This became so bad that teams were putting fake play sheets and leaving them in the dressing room. Sending employees to the visiting team's hotel to try to swipe playbooks and scouting reports. Scrambling and jamming opponents' radio headsets to interfere with their communications. Peyton Manning was so fucking paranoid about this, he would leave the Patriots' locker room and only talk to the coaches about play schemes and stuff like that outside because he was convinced that there were bugs.
bugged.
Yeah. Jets, and then it was, he was with the Patriots, and he's Eric Mangini was coach of the Jets. And he's like, you motherfuckers. He alerts and then, Goodell gets involved. He's only been on the job like a year and a half at this point. He fined Belichick personally $500,000, the Patriots $250,000, and docked the team a first-round pick before they even went to Foxborough to see what the tapes were that they had. They levied that. They found a room accessible only to Belichick and a few others with a library of scouting material containing videotapes of opponents' signals with detailed notes matching them to plays from many teams going back 7 seasons. And then, at Foxborough, Roger Goodell makes the call, destroy these tapes. And so executives got these tapes and stomped on them and then lit them on fire. Lit them on fire. The Patriots never told the league how many games they filmed and offered up only 8 tapes. Yeah, the league never asked. And so that's why people were like...
Still like that team, E? Huh?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's why they're so good, E.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying,
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's a lot of work, though. That's, to me, and the thing is, you still have to have the players to all, make these plays happen to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I
you
get
know
it.
what play is coming.
I get that. Hey, I get it, but I'm just saying, okay, find them now. Give them penalties now, and for sure. And you've been caught, and now you got to pay the piper, I suppose. But if people wouldn't be trying, any coach that sits here and acts like they'd be above this if they didn't think they could find a way to do it where they weren't going to get caught. Give me a break. So.
Well, was it I always get it confused because I'm watching both games every week, and the 49ers and the Lions. There was one game this year, though, where the second half completely flipped, and they kind of got their asses handed to them. And
it's every Lions game for
one of the players came out after the game and said, "Yeah, we picked up on the signals. We knew what they were going to run." And so you ask if it's important to know. I mean, yeah, if you start picking up on the signals.
So why is that? I understand. I get the difference. I'm not stupid to the difference of recording it versus picking it up live. But so if people are able to do it live, then it's just like, oh well, that's okay then. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that is okay.
I think whatever, man.
I mean, if you're playing in the game and the quarterback keeps yelling something out and then running a play after that, and you kind of pick up the cadence and those details, that's
Omaha.
But if people have known this this has been going on for so long with the Patriots. Then if I were teams, whether it's right or wrong, why are you not already making major situations where you say to yourself, okay, going into this game, dude, we have to have a new plan or something.
Well, they probably did, but I mean, if you're talking about bugging locker rooms and stuff,
the bugging locker rooms would be ridiculous. I understand
breaking into hotel rooms and trying to steal playbooks,
stuff like that would be ridiculous to me.
Where's the line, E?
Yeah, where's the line?
Stuff that would. This
goes to the content of your character, E.
No, I don't know what the line is exactly, but for me, filming things from a game, for example, like having you're on the field and you have a camera face at that thing for a quarter. I don't see anything wrong with that, in my opinion. But because everyone should couldn't people just watch? Games and get that anyway. I understand they don't show that on the TV coverage, but people have scouts at every single game. You could easily with iPhones at this point.
Well, if you're comfortable with your 9 Super Bowl visits and 6 championship trophies,
it's not my team.
Then fine. E. If you're comfortable with that.
It's not my team. I don't give a shit.
Would you give a shit if the Lions had 9 Super Bowl appearances and 6 world titles and all this was coming out about them? We wouldn't give a fuck at all.
I would think exactly how I think about the Patriots right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
Hey everybody, Kyle Mayer. He's back. This segment's brought to you by Mayer and Company Accountants. If you dread handling your personal or business taxes as much as you dread sitting at a Browns-Bengals game in December, well, let Kyle Mayer handle it all for you. Kyle's a pro. You can trust him. Don't waste your time trying to figure out all those damn forms, numbers, deductions. Leave it all to Kyle. Call him today, 248-521-0016.
You know, I always wanted outdoor stadium because I like the traditional idea of, I'm just saying.
Retractable
no,
roof?
But I'm not talking,
No,
I'm not
easy.
saying retractable. I want it fucking outdoors. I want snow. I want the Lambeau feel. But the problem is, when you don't have a good team, and then you're talking about Cincinnati and Cleveland in the winter, and it's
Cincinnati ball
December,
Yeah,
and
but
it's
you got
29
the
degrees.
dog pound, man.
It's harder to execute.
It's like,
Dude, that's brutal. Sitting there, you see those guys with giant parkas on and full gloves, and they're just freezing their balls off at a 10-6 game.
That's what I'm saying. If your
Ugh.
team sucks, like if they're winning, like it's a Lambeau. You're talking about a Lambeau Field where it's like an NFC Championship
But see,
game.
Eve,
fucking awesome.
What
But-
you're describing, the fact that the Lions do have an indoor stadium has probably allowed them to stay insulated from a lot of the criticism.
for sure.
Because people still go.
Exactly.
If it was outdoor, people wouldn't go.
I wonder if
point.
that's
people,
true.
Totally true.
Yes.
People around here be like, fuck that, I'm not going.
Yeah.
But it's just comfortable. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, you
It
sit
is.
inside.
It's
NFL
warm in there.
football, it's warm.
Right.
Just got to walk from the car. I bet that's true, Jay, that there's probably I wonder what that percentage would be. If your team just blows, when you're going through you're 3-9, it's like, is anyone
about
going to
that.
go to
Well,
an outdoor stadium?
And you're the Lions. Let's make sure we're defining it correctly.
Yeah, it's not
This
even a
isn't-
team that's
this
just
isn't
kinda-
Lambeau where you've had your successes. You've had nothing.
Yeah,
And
ever.
if Ford Field was built an outdoor, my God, there'd be no one there now.
That might have been a good thing.
Yes,
This team
it
would
was-
have expired. We would have lost this team by now.
That went into the decision-making process.
You
There's
think
no
so?
question in my mind.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably right. Plus, they know.
Well, they wanted a Super
We can't
Bowl,
get a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the reports are coming back like that's really not the boon to your economy locally that you think it is.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I mean, we had a Super Bowl in New
hookers
York.
do well,
I mean,
but
yeah.
outside of hookers, you know, it don't do as well.
I
for your
wonder what it
community
is.
as you
Well, I
think.
wonder what it is. When they say that, you're right. The reports do say that it's not as big as they claim that it is. But I wonder
forever
what-
they said it was
why-
like $400 million
I understand
boost.
that, but I wonder
Wow.
what it takes to get this the money, because it definitely does do something. On
Yeah,
some,
the
because people
investment you
have
have to put in.
hotels and
Yes.
people go to restaurants, but there
Well,
must be.
the NFL takes every hotel in the city, basically.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I've heard. You're
stuff
right.
like that. You have to like the security
And then, like,
upgrades and the law enforcement. There's just a
Yeah,
ton
but
of
it's a huge
stuff.
net gain. I mean, you can't argue that it's
must
somehow
be-
a bad thing, right?
Maybe
I mean,
it's
No,
not what they say
enormous.
it is.
but the reports
It's
of
not
like
400 million.
400 million. It's like no, really.
It's certainly worth doing, though.
I would hope. I would think it's exciting. It was really exciting to have the Super Bowl here.
Was it Pittsburgh, Seattle?
Pittsburgh, Seattle.
Last
Yes.
one,
Yep. Like Radio Row is really cool. Like the whole, there's just a lot going on.
Sure.
But to me, I hated it in a way because it was like, there's something cool about seeing it in Miami and seeing everyone outside on the beach, and playing the games and stuff. And it's like, you couldn't even show outdoor shots in Detroit. It's just brutal cold. It's like, what are you doing here?
all I think about when I think of that Super Bowl in the end.
Kwame Kilpatrick. And the efforts that he put in to get it there.
No.
Yeah. Well, he's the only reason we got it.
Yes.
was I went to Kid Rock the night before with my buddy, and there was this girl there that I liked, and I was so nervous about the situation. We didn't even go together. I just knew she was gonna be there, and I got fucking tanked. So
Good
You
move.
figured that
drunk.
would impress
Yeah,
her.
somehow I was
move.
gonna
Yeah.
just so destroyed.
You're still using
drunk.
that work today. That's still your movie.
Right, so drunk. And then my buddy, who was not even driving or drinking at all, like he's a DD, but
I
he
bet
was.
he had a blast that night.
Oh no! Here's the thing, though. We driving home. If you remember, there was a huge snowstorm that night, and he totaled my car. We got in an accident, and he to the point where it, like swung around and like drilled a tree like into the trunk,
Median?
dude. The tree
Oh, the
was
trunk.
like the tree was like in the backseat of the fucking car.
Wow.
And like, and it was just like, I was just Super Bowl Sunday. I was just hungover as shit and having to deal with my parents on the fact that this car got totaled and
Oh,
the
man.
girl the night before, like I was like trying to text her and be like, oh yeah, crazy. Sorry about that last
What
night.
would you give to see those texts now
Oh, my God.
to read those back? Can you imagine what a absolute shit-faced Easus would have been texting
I
somebody
actually
he had a
lost.
crush on
I
at
actually
the Kid Rock concert.
I actually lost my phone during that concert and somehow found it. Believe it or not, too. Like I
It's happened multiple times.
oh
to
yeah,
him.
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, you're bound to find. You know, it was bound to happen. I
Yeah.
mean,
It
you
was
lose
really-
it 8,000 times. You're bound to bump into it once.
It was
Flying
really too
squirrel.
bad because Hank Williams Jr. came out and sang with Kid Rock, and I don't even remember that. I think Bob Seger might have came out too, and I don't remember either of those things.
You can probably find him on YouTube.
I know, but it's like,
Have you guys seen any new movies lately at all? You guys?
yeah, I've seen the Mr. Rogers film.
How was that?
You
It's
like that?
really good, man. You know what's
Did you
funny?
cry?
Yeah, I don't know if I
Weepy?
cried, but I got.
Welled up?
You know what funny thing is? Going into it, because I saw the one a year ago that was the documentary version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going into this one, I knew that Tom Hanks was in it, so I didn't look into how it was going to be at all.
Figure
And-
out which guy Tom Hanks was?
No, but I literally thought that it was just going to be a biopic, like they were going to start with
Yeah,
a little
that's-
kid, and eventually Tom Hanks was going to become him, and
It's
it was
about a writer, right?
they did it, and they did it like a show, like it opens
What
as
the
if it-
writer? What he was
sort of
like?
like Vanity Fairs.
He,
I mean, or
wasn't
they
he
made up
kind of
something.
like? Is this guy
Suspicious
for
of-
real,
right,
or is
right.
he fucking kids?
Correct.
And then he learned and grew.
Yeah,
a
oh
great
no,
bond
yeah,
with
this
him or
guy was like
something.
really
Cynical?
like he was trying as hard as he fucking could, at least in this movie,
To knock this guy
to
down.
like knock him down.
What's he doing? Just like bringing toddlers into the house every
What?
time he comes over or
Well,
something?
no, but
It wasn't the kid fucking angle at all, was it? It was just he was cynical
he
about
did-
like this
yeah.
guy can't really be for real.
Well, happy
I don't know
and-
how much I want to. I mean, whatever. I guess is this spoiling it? I'm basically telling the story at this point.
Yeah,
but, like,
don't spoil it.
but-
I still want to see it, but the reason I haven't been all that excited was because of the documentary that came out.
No, but here,
and I feel like
it's
okay,
dude, it's different in a way, and like I said. So the one thing I was gonna say, just that this is,
and I
a
also
big
realized
spoiler.
that I didn't like fucking the
The
show.
puppets? Oh, the puppets are
freaked
awful.
the-
Oh, God, they're creepy.
We've talked about that one that's based on like his aunt or
Yes.
his nana or something. That hideous
God.
Madam something.
Yes. Don't remind
Well,
me.
just-
Yeah, I don't
just
want to see her. It's
Already,
creepy.
just real FYI, this won't spoil it, but the weird thing about it, like I said, is they kind of do it like in an episode. Like he comes in and he does the song and stuff, and that's where I was like, and they do like the little like when he travels to Pittsburgh, like all the travel they do is like done almost as if they were on the show, and I was like, is this gonna be a fucking show? Like, are we gonna have to learn a lesson and go? So it was kind of weirdly done, but it's different. It's definitely different, and it's worth seeing, man. It's really fucking good. I loved it. And both my parents did too.
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. I saw that for rock. Oh, sorry.
No, I finally watched The Irishman,
Yeah, what'd you
the
think?
Scorsese 3.5 hour movie. I thought it was really good. I
Yeah,
did.
I've heard different things about
Yeah.
that. Some people are just like, trash. Other people, really good.
You know, I want to know if any aspect of it is real, because it's kind of a historical look at that
Hoffa.
the Hoffa leading up to the Hoffa thing. But it's like, how much of this is just artistic license taken here and you're just running wild? I thought I read something that said there's like nothing real. in it.
Oh, no.
But a lot of
I
the
don't even know what it's
people.
about, but-
So it's like, you know, when some guys get up to talk, they stop the movie and they put a box up. He was shot in the face 6 times
Oh, okay.
outside in 1980, and it's like, well, I think those were real people and that's how they died. But you know, people don't know where Jimmy Hoffa's body is.
Well,
Except Kyle
I
Mayer.
thought-
Kyle
yeah,
Mayer.
right.
I mean, we know, but a lot of people still speculate.
I-75 at 696, if
Somewhere
I
around
remember
there,
correctly.
yeah. That's
yeah,
it,
That
yeah.
interchange.
Next time we're doing some road work around there, we gotta get in there and be like, hey guys, by the way, dig a little deeper, find Hoffa.
A little deeper. You're getting nuts.
You know, I've been here.
But it's cool seeing the Macus Red Fox in there,
Yeah.
and the Detroit Union ties and stuff.
Pesci, I heard, is awesome.
Pesci's fucking
Takes
great.
you back to good old Pesci.
Yes, and so is De Niro.
Really?
Yes, dude. They're really good in it, and that aging thing
I
they
heard
did.
that kind of sucked, no?
I didn't find it distracting in any way.
Hmm.
Like I wasn't watching it going, oh yeah, I can CGI see what they did here, like you can with like big, you know, cartoonish.
We didn't have a Jar Jar Binks situation, did we?
No,
Miss, I'm not interested. If
No.
so, I'm not watching that.
it's lengthy,
Yeah.
but it's good. I thought
And it's
it was
a
good.
Netflix original? Is that right?
Yeah, I thought it was in theaters too, though.
Oh.
But it's on Netflix. You can watch it now, and you know, break it into 2 parts, make it a 2 evening thing.
You know what I've been hearing a lot about, and I'm not saying go see this. I have no idea. It sounds like it's sappy as fuck. The Marriage Story. It's
Oh,
like
yeah, that got nominated.
That's on
it hit,
Netflix
it
right
hit
now.
my radar like a week ago, and it's all I see now.
Is that,
Oh, isn't
wait a
that
minute, is that
Kylo
Adam
Ren?
Driver? Yeah, Adam Driver and
So that's just on
Scarlett
Netflix then,
Johansson.
because it's on Netflix. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm
it
gonna
just-
watch it.
it's
It's
Actually,
just
getting
kicked
so
ass.
much press because it did get a bunch of Golden Globes,
Globes,
right?
yeah.
But
The
it's like-
Irishman did too. I think
Yeah, but
Netflix.
I feel like it just came out of nowhere. Like I hadn't heard anything about it. Now
Me either.
But I think
Every
that's
day.
how Netflix movies are going to be from going forward. I think at times,
Just hits.
sometimes you'll know it's coming, and sometimes they'll just kind of put them there. You know.
Well, I wouldn't have watched that movie if it wasn't for Netflix. Like, I wasn't going to go to a theater
Right.
and sit there for 3.5 hours and watch that. And so it was like, wait, what? It's on Netflix already? Does that mean it sucked so bad
I don't
that
think
they
it
just...
went to the theaters. I think it was just a Netflix thing, probably.
I thought I heard that, but you could be right. Not that it matters. But I mean,
real
everyone's got Netflix.
By the way, just not to go on another one, but I've seen a few recently, and Ford versus Ferrari.
Really good?
If you haven't seen that movie,
Netflix?
no, that's in theaters. That's
Yeah.
a real
Matt
fucking
Damon.
good movie. Like
Yeah.
the racing scenes
See,
in
I
it.
feel like I watched that with 24 Hours or whatever.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Because it's about Ford and versus
Yeah, but
Ferrari
this
in the
is-
Le Mans,
yeah,
right?
But this is like, again,
we
you
talked
have-
to Adam Carolla about that. He made that
Yeah,
big
but
documentary movie about
those
it.
are different when you have actors though, and you have more real real scenes that aren't
Yeah.
that aren't real, but they're having conversations and they're it's really fucking good. And the racing scenes in it
Yeah.
are really well done.
Yeah.
And you don't have to even
Probably like the worst spectacle, disaster at any event I can think of.
Do they
They have that big
highlight
crash?
the crashes and stuff, like half a car going into the crowd and
yeah,
taking
there's
all
some
those people
crash.
out?
Yeah, there's some crash scenes in it for sure. But
Because that was what was so remarkable about that story was like,
the footage,
Dude.
It's like, that's for real.
oh my god, you think the tire hitting the fucking Brazilian man is great? Imagine that thing whipping into the crowd at a race.
I think there's some. I guess there's some crash scenes. I mean, the one guy in the end essentially dies in a crash or whatever. Oh,
Oh.
spoiler alert!
Jesus.
But it's really fucking good. Really fucking good in my opinion.
Do you guys have any interest in the Richard Jewell movie titled Richard Jewell?
Yeah, sort of, kind of. I don't know. I saw that trailer. I was like, oh, okay.
I kind of like. It was like, really? Do they need to make a movie out of?
Yeah, I
out of
know,
this?
like, how-
it seems like a weird of all the historical events you could take.
Right. It is a weird one.
Isn't it?
I'll see it. I'm gonna see it.
Especially because we all know the story and it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Pretty fucking simple.
Yes. He was not. Richard Jewell was actually a hero trying to save people.
Everybody-
He was falsely accused.
Everybody pegged him with the crime of bombing the Atlanta
of
Olympics, right?
'96. Yeah.
And
Olympic
he
Park.
flat out didn't do it. And
Yeah.
it was proven that he didn't do it.
He noticed a bag sitting there and he started evacuating people. And so he was hailed a hero minute one, and then it was like he quickly became the suspect. And then the whole world turned on him.
Just showed how the machine, like once it gets rolling,
Yes.
it just took him down.
And I saw some people suggesting, because other people were asking, like, why do we need to make this movie?
well, by the way,
You know,
here's
Richard Jewell was such a dopey looking guy, big fat dude, and it was like he got hammered.
Probably deserves some vindication, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
he did win a big judgment, right? But then died soon thereafter.
Yeah.
So probably his name deserves to be
and when you
correctly
say why
put
do
out there.
we need it, the funny thing is like when you, for one,
Well-
no, but real quick, I was gonna say like when Jay was talking about, remember the mule or whatever, the Clint Eastwood thing.
Yeah.
it's just a very standard Clint Eastwood thing. Like you say, it's a simple story, and we all know it, and that's kind of
Yeah,
his
but
thing, right?
that's about
Like,
a
he-
90-year-old who becomes a drug mule for the.
No, but I'm
like,
saying
there's
that-
a lot there. He could have done way better with that. The thing is, though, that people
like
were
it.
asking that question, like why. There's a lot of people. I saw some people saying the reason he's doing this is because he wants to highlight fake news, and this is like a pet project to showcase fake news and the distrust you should have in your
Yeah.
media and blah blah blah. And I'm like, didn't think about that angle, but is there a better case to
Right.
present if that was your plan was to showcase
Yeah, that's pretty
fake
good.
news? You couldn't do better than Richard Jewell. I mean that went on for months, 3 months.
What year was that?
96 Centennial Olympic Park bombing.
God.
All comes rushing back,
Right.
doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Olivia Wilde plays one of the central characters in this movie as a reporter. Kathy Scruggs is who she's based on, and there's some dust up. She was one of the she worked for the Atlanta Constitution or Journal Constitution or whatever that is, that paper, and was one of the first to break the story that Richard Jewell was the prime suspect. Now, he ended up suing, like you said, multiple media outlets, and she was the only one that didn't settle. Like the AJC or whatever was the only one that didn't settle with him and ended up being vindicated. A judge there found that his ruling was like, at the time of reporting, this was in fact factual, that he was the suspect and blah, blah, blah. So, but it ruined her life. It ruined his life. And so Olivia Wilde comes out and she's doing press, and I did an extraordinary amount of research on Kathy Scruggs. She's an amazing woman, and I talked to everybody, blah blah blah. I could. I went out of my way, and that's news to those who know Kathy Scruggs. Apparently.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I am Kathy Scruggs' brother and only remaining member of our immediate family. I find it interesting that during Ms. Wilde's extensive research of Kathy, she did not bother to contact me or any of Kathy's very close friends. Tony Kiss worked with Scruggs at 2 other papers and remained a close friend. He did not hear from Wilde or anyone else from the movie. Neither did longtime friend Susan Park. Even though she did offer to help, I gave my number to the writers. I'm boycotting this movie. I'm disgusted, and I don't think Wilde contacted anyone that was close to Kathy. So she, let's see, the AGC was among the media outlets sued by him and exonerated in the end. She died, had failing health, and it's kind of weird. Like in 2001, they say it was probably partly because of this, the stress. She did something to injure her back, and, she had chronic back pain, and then she...
Fibromyalgia.
She needed a MyPillow. Crohn's disease kicked in later, depression, anxiety, and other issues. I'm going, okay, doesn't seem fatal.
She was a fucking mess.
Right? She'd been on medical leave for about the last year of her life. Joey Ledford, one of her editors, said she was tenacious, incredibly good at building sources. I worked with a lot of good reporters over the years. She was the best. Her Hollywood's version of Scruggs propositions an FBI agent played by John Hamm. And so basically, says like, hey, man, I'll fuck you if you can give me some inside details. And they're like, she wouldn't have said that. She wouldn't have done that. I mean, give me a break. So they're like, what the hell?
Wow.
Is this? I mean,
it's ironic there's controversy concerning like the veracity of how the story's portrayed in this story.
Yeah.
Right? The story of Richard Jewell, really? You're going to end up in a bunch of lawsuits?
I mean, dude, and talk about like, they're like, Olivia Wilde is like, I did a ton of research. I really embraced her dynamic. Yeah, she had relationships with people she worked with. That's pretty common in any industry. I have nothing but respect for Kathy. She's no longer with us. I feel a certain amount of responsibility to protect her legacy and tell people to back off. Don't reduce her to this one thing. It's like, oh, you mean the most basic of journalistic ethical breaches, like
right.
Fucking a source, attempting to fuck a source? How is that? I mean, you couldn't destroy her fucking legacy any more than that one fact. I mean, dude, that is so insulting. The Atlantic Journal-Constitution or whatever is furious about this. They want a retraction. But Olivia Wilde, yeah. So this John Hamm is there. She offers to sleep with him, and he responds, Kathy, you couldn't fuck it out of them. What makes you think you could fuck it out of me? I mean, that's a very,
Certainly portrays her in a certain light, right?
Yeah.
Kind of changes everything, as you say.
Yeah. They're having none of it at the paper, and their editor-in-chief, Kevin Riley, said that there's no evidence that this happened and called the suggestion offensive and deeply troubling in the Me Too era. In a long piece about Scruggs that acknowledges the complexities of her story and character. I was like, ooh, I want to know more about the complexities of her, because why she died seems weird to me. It's not like, hit by a train. It's like depression, anxiety, stress. It's like
Fibromyalgia.
So, there's mention. So they're trying to say, hey, we're fair.
I wonder if Bleed Stop would have saved her.
Bleed Stop definitely would have helped. It would not have been a contributing factor.
It stops any wound.
She was suffering from depression and anxiety. Get her some Bleed Stop post haste. So there's mention. So they're like, hey, look, we weren't trying to sugarcoat anything. There's some issues with the character and whatnot. And including the mention of the time police responded at 3 a.m. when Scruggs refused to get out of a taxi outside a Buckhead hotel, shit-faced and naked, sitting in the driver's seat. The AJC is very clear that any wild child behavior did not cross the all-important line, a sexual relationship with a source that would compromise the integrity of her work.
I'm a visual learner. Do we have pictures of said reporter? Because I know what
Great
Olivia
question.
Wilde looks like, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe she doesn't look like Olivia Wilde as
Well,
much.
she is. Well, she's a print.
I already forget the
Got
name.
Scruggs.
Scruggs.
Kathy Scruggs.
Kathy Scruggs, okay.
Just DuckDuckGo Kathy Scruggs. Fibromyalgia.
Those two words.
Well, you know why Olivia Wilde is cast in this. Yeah, she's pretty. It sounds like, when they're talking about wild child partying, drinking, it sounds like she was just a fucking lush. You know what I mean? And I don't know her. It's probably a shitty thing to say, but just picking up some of the things, people don't want to talk about she's dead, so they don't want to. But that's kind of what I'm picking up here is she sounds like a big fucking drinker,
Right,
partier kind of thing, That's how you end up in a taxi at 3 a.m. shit-faced.
Nude in the driver's seat.
Yeah, in the driver's seat.
with a package full of bleed stop.
I need this for my fibromyalgia. Go away, pigs. And you won't respond to the cops, Yeah, I'm trying to get you out. That's a scene.
Hey, a quick word from Rich at the Blind Biz.
Hey guys, it's Rich from the Blind Biz here.
Voice.
Don't
Wow.
freak out, but the holidays are fast approaching, and let's face it, your blinds are probably in worse condition than Biggie's car after his wreck. So unless you want your in-laws to think you're some bigly loser this holiday season, give us a call. We'll hook you up proper, just like we did at Radio for One Studios. We carry all types of blinds, shades, and shutters, offer free shop at home appointments, free installation, and mention TDC will give you 20% off and free cordless option on all cellular shades. So give us a call at 866-246-8875 or check us out online at theblindbiz.com.
God, that voice just reverberates, doesn't it? It's just,
yeah.
wow.
I feel like
Grabs ya.
I'm just gonna walk out of here one day and go, "What am I doing this for? Why? You can't compete with a voice like that. You just can't." Other movies, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
You as just before we got started, you were asking if I'd seen the trailer.
Yeah.
And I haven't. Did it just come out?
Within a few
Monday.
days, yeah.
What did they say? Tuesday? Yeah, yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
I saw it and I was struck by I didn't know what it was when I pushed play on it. And
It's supposed to follow the original storyline, right?
Kinda.
Isn't that supposed
Yeah.
to be the thing with this, where the chick version went
correct.
rogue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is later in time. A lot of decades have passed.
Right.
It appears from the trailer. But it started out and it just had a totally different vibe than what the original movies have.
Yeah.
It looked like a real thriller that would be
Right.
produced in 2020.
Yeah.
And it looked like a scary movie. Like, I'm like, oh shit, what am I clicking on? And then I start watching. I'm like, oh, this is the Ghostbusters thing. Because Paul Rudd pops up and
Yeah.
you realize they start talking about the little ghost catching device.
Trap.
E-
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I don't
had
know what it's
East,
actually
East
called.
costume. He had one of those. Did
Oh,
you
yeah?
catch a lot of ghosts with that?
No, I did not.
Ectoplasm or
Yeah,
whatever.
something like that. No,
Hell yeah.
not shockingly, I did not catch a lot of
Wow,
ghosts.
that's unbelievable.
But you
Wow,
were
guys-
for hire.
I was in the cul-de-sac in the 5 houses or so that
Yeah.
I grew up in.
A young entrepreneur.
Yeah, I remember those days. Remember when I went as Kiss? I
do.
Around and tried to beg neighbors for a penny
Yeah.
with a jukebox, and I had just a Gene Simmons
Yeah.
plastic mask on.
I wish
and
I
a
had
tennis
those,
racket.
I wish I had my poster or my flyers now.
Yeah, I bet they were.
God, do I feel lame now just selling Pow Wow popcorn for the Indian guides?
I know. I was trying to think
Native
out
American
ghosts,
guys.
Jay. Ghosts, and you're just selling some popcorn.
Yeah.
Native American popcorn.
Right.
So this is done. Ivan Reitman did the original Ghostbusters.
I just watched,
Were there
by
two
the
or
way,
three of
Jay,
them. Were there
two.
two?
I just watched Jay movies that make us. I did watch the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, what'd you
version.
think?
It was good, man. For
That's
sure.
the one I
A lot of
haven't
stuff
seen.
about that I didn't fucking know
Yeah?
for sure.
Yeah, that's the one I haven't watched. I watched the other ones. The Home Alone.
Yeah.
I thought was good.
What-
The movies that make us. I
What
referenced
is it?
this like a week ago.
Oh, okay.
It's like a documentary series.
Where
on
do you find
Netflix.
that? Oh, okay.
Netflix. Yeah, it was good. I didn't realize that.
What other
Dan
movies did they
Aykroyd
have?
Dirty
was-
Dancing, Die Hard, Home Alone, and Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I think are the ones that are posted right now.
Okay.
Die Hard was good.
Really? I would think that Back to the Future would be in there.
Yeah, I don't
I
know if
would've
they have
loved
more
Back to the
that are
Future,
going
although
to
I've
get
known
into
so
the
much.
queue, but
Yeah.
I would imagine they would.
So this movie originally they're done by Ivan Reitman. I believe Ivan Reitman's son is the guy
That's
that's
right.
taken the control. I don't know. Is Ivan Reitman still alive? And just
I mean, he was just in that thing that he just did, so he probably was.
and
probably is.
Let me see the trailer. I mean, did they get most of the cast back?
Ivan Reitman is alive.
Well, I
They don't show the cast, but I have seen in articles that Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, they're
the
on
ones that are
board.
the
What about the
remaining
black
ones.
one?
Sigourney Weaver also.
Okay.
I think those three are on board to come back.
What about the black guy?
I don't know.
He's the fifth Beatle, right?
Well, as learned
Mar-
in your documentary, that was supposed to be Eddie Murphy, right?
Right, right.
It was written for
Really?
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
No
John
way.
For
Belushi was.
Belushi,
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy, and Dan Aykroyd. Those were
Really?
the guys who were going to be the Ghostbusters.
No kidding. Eddie was just bailed on it or something.
I don't know how far it got, if that
I-
was just in Dan's head or what.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was a reason. No, well, here's the thing. Originally, like once he got Bill Murray, that was kind of gonna be or something.
comic
Yeah, I
relief.
guess or something because then the nerdy guy kind of took in. I forget his name, but he's dead now. But it became Egon.
Oh yeah.
And so I think
that
that-
guy.
Ramus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already don't remember exactly.
He's the one
why
that
Eddie
bailed
Murphy-
on Hollywood completely. Wouldn't do any movies.
He's the one who's dead, I think. Harold
Yes.
Ramis.
Yeah,
Harold
he
Ramis.
is.
He
is.
didn't
Honey,
he
I
do,
Shrunk the Kids and all those.
No, that's Rick Moran. Oh no, yeah, I know what you're saying.
He did Animal House.
Really?
Ramis, I believe
okay.
so.
Anyway, yeah, let's check it out. Are you guys excited for it?
No, unfortunately. I wish I would be.
What are you doing here in Somerville anyway?
Honestly, my mom won't say it.
This
but
doesn't look
really
like a
broke.
Ghostbusters movie.
And the only thing that's left in our name is this creepy old farmhouse our grandfather left us in the middle of nowhere. Why'd you bring me up here?
Entertainment value?
What? She's black and he's white. They're romantically linked? Wow.
In a small town.
So woke. Whoa.
So up goes this weird flash of light.
Somehow,
And here's where I'm
the town
thinking,
that
like,
isn't
what
anywhere
is
near
this?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like Ghostbusters to me
Not
yet,
at
right?
all.
No loud music, even.
I mean, isn't New York City central to
New York City.
New York City?
Hey, remember that one summer we died under a table?
Pretty good line.
I found this in my living room.
Killer
That's it, righty?
Right.
A replica of what?
I would love one of those.
A ghost trap?
So that's Paul Rudd talking.
And he's
Paul
familiar
Rudd's-
with the Ghost Trap. If he's familiar with the Ghost Trap,
ghost
wouldn't
sighting
everybody
in 30
be familiar
years.
with the Ghost Trap?
Well, these are kids, and he says,
New York in the 80s? It's like The Walking Dead. Your dad never mentioned this to you?
So that must be Ramus's kid, right?
Okay,
The
with
character of
yeah,
Ramus,
yeah,
his
yeah.
kid.
My
And so-
grandfather died.
He discovers all this shit
My
in the
mom
old
says we're
barn.
just here to pick through the rubble of his life.
Wow. It's not a terrible storyline.
Yeah, if you're gonna
Ish.
reboot it.
Yeah. To pick it up.
Who are you?
He's got the old uniforms.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have a totally different vibe?
Totally.
Call it fate.
This could have been the trailer for It.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Call it luck. Call it karma.
The car. There's gonna be the car. I just
believe
know
that
it.
Everything happens for a reason.
Come on, darling.
There it
Hell
is,
yeah.
man. The
Hell
hearse.
yeah.
Ecto one.
There
Yes.
he goes. Through a cornfield.
Ecto
That's a
1.
gunner seat?
Doesn't interest you, E?
Nah, I mean,
Really?
Ecto 1 in the
See,
small town?
This is the most interested I've been in that movie. Like, I wouldn't have given a shit
It just
to see
doesn't
this
seem
at
like
all.
a Ghostbusters movie to me.
Well, Ghostbusters is very kid, corny, you know.
Kitschy.
Exactly.
Bubblegum.
One-liners and
Yeah. Totally different
cheesy.
vibe.
Yeah, way different vibe.
It's funny. I mean, dude, growing up, for me, Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those were the fucking things that I
Yeah.
loved. I loved both those things, and I had so many toys of both those products. And I watched the Ghostbusters cartoon and all that shit.
So this
and
feels too different.
I think I'll probably see it, but I'm
You'll
not
see it,
really.
Isis.
I know, but I'm not like
Not
I
excited
don't. I
about
don't
it.
watch that and think.
He just wants the
Fuck
band to
yeah.
make the same album over and over. That's what he
No,
wants. He wants
that's
the
not
same.
it. But it's
You guys rock. Now get your asses back in that studio and start
maybe I-
rocking.
Well, you saw
I mean-
the album performed by women. The Bengals essentially got on
Right.
stage and performed your
Right.
album. You did not like that. So
didn't
maybe
even
you
watch
like
it.
this version.
Yep.
I mean, here's the thing. I think
Did
it
you
actually
see the
looks
chick version, by the way?
No, I think it looks like an okay movie. I think it actually looks like an okay movie. To call it Ghostbusters to me doesn't seem. I don't know.
Doesn't seem right.
I'll see.
Well, it
Maybe I'll
seems
watch
like
it.
the only thing that would be right was to call that Ghostbusters. That plot line we just
No,
watched.
to me, it's just you could easily just you could have taken out all that Ghostbuster memorabilia and then just made some fake other ghost catching shit and say
Yeah.
it's a ghost movie.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But if you're Ivan Reitman's son and you're writing the Ghostbusters,
But you don't have to make Ghostbusters 3.
but that's the only way people are going to take you seriously as Ivan Reitman's son.
I know.
And if
but-
you don't, if you call it like Ghost Catchers, everybody's going to be like, you
Did
ripped that
you-
off. You got the circle slash with like
you should watch
a little
the
demon
thing,
guy
dude.
in it. It's
Yeah.
Ghost Catchers.
Stop it, Reitman's kid.
Watch the
Seriously?
fucking watch that one, Jay. You'll see that they had up until the very end, they had some very big conflict in what the name was actually
Oh,
going to
really?
be, and they had to do like at times
The
like,
name for
different
the original
scissors.
or the new one?
The original ones. They had to do different they were trying to. They were saying some weird little other company owned this right to the name Ghostbusters, and they
Really?
just thought that this is fucking it. And
Yeah,
they're
what
in-
would that have done to Ray Parker's career?
That's
You know what
the
I mean?
thing,
Like,
man. His
thank
song
God.
would not have fit, right?
No.
Oh, he talks about that too. It's pretty interesting.
Who are you going to call? Ectoplasma catchers.
No, it doesn't work.
I can't.
Who are you going to call? Ectoplasma catchers.
I already can't
It's
remember-
got to be Ghostbusters.
I already can't remember what the other thing was, even though I just watched it. But like, they were to the point where they're in New York and having to film scenes where they like put up the name Ghostbusters and the thing like and then they're like, okay, do it again, and they have the other name.
wow,
Because they were
okay.
filming
No
multi
shit.
scenes in case they
That's
in
crazy.
case they
In case
couldn't
they
get
couldn't
the title.
settle, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever? You both have been to New York City. New York
City.
I have.
Have you guys done like the Ghostbuster
No.
Well,
landmarks thing?
I mean-
it's pretty fucking cool, man. I did a few of them, like the big library with the
Oh, yeah.
the
Fuck yeah.
statues, and going through there, you can see like. They've got scenes where they were walking through the library and they're like, yeah, this was filmed right
I
here.
don't know that I
Absolutely.
know the movie well enough to appreciate that.
You'd recognize it when you saw it, because, dude, you know details way better than I do.
Firehouse, I would, if you put me in that
Yeah.
firehouse.
The library
I'd-
is some famous scenes shot in there.
Oh, for sure. The last time when,
Yeah.
when I was in New York with you, but I stayed the extra few days. I rode
the
around
time
my
you
bike.
pooped on the floor and kicked it.
Yeah, I stayed.
Just context, needed
Yeah.
some context.
Rode my bike around, and like I actually did finally go. I hadn't done that in the past, and I finally went to that library. And I will say, like looking at it, like even at 35 years old, I was like, oh shit,
were
that's it.
smitten.
That's
Yeah.
the beginning scene. This little fucking thing here, and they go in.
No,
and-
well, the steps leading up to the
Yeah.
library with the big statues, like
yes.
you'd recognize
I
it
loved
from the
it.
movie. You would. And there's other landmarks too. I didn't
I
do
know.
like a tour, but just being there was like, oh wow,
for sure.
yeah,
Could we hear from our friends at Twin Peaks?
sure.
At every Twin Peaks, you'll find wall-to-wall TVs, scratch food, and the signature 29-degree draft beer, served by the best-in-class Twin Peaks girls. Welcome to your new local spot for sports and scenic views. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Wait a minute, real quick. Like when you say like I just want them to remake the band, that's suggesting that I wanted a Ghostbusters 3. Like in my mind, I just be like, you know what, the first two were great. Let's leave it how we were. Like so, when you say like, oh, you just don't want new things, I wasn't asking for a Ghostbusters 3 in 2019. I'd rather
Just let it sit.
Yeah, let that sit what it
Let it
was.
be
And
what it was.
there
What
some
if it's
cartoons.
great?
I mean, it might.
I mean,
be,
would you
it
be
might still
disappointed with a great
No,
Ghostbusters movie?
no.
Can you
it might-
imagine it being great, though? Honestly, like
No,
I could see
but-
it being okay, but
Yeah, I mean,
I
what's-
think to E's point, I think this is a franchise. You just let it be. It
But
was what
here's
it
the thing.
was.
It had some cartoons. It had some
Here's
toys.
the thing that you're not thinking about, gentlemen. The producing this movie and putting it out has infuriated the broads who
I
made
know
the
they
Yeah, that is
the
it's
pretty
a
chick
funny.
dick
Ghostbusters.
move, declared.
Total
What's her
dick.
name?
Yeah.
That is a pretty funny. You're right. For that move,
for that reason alone, I'm
Was worth it.
thrilled that they're making this
actually,
movie.
that's a good point. If you're right, if anything, I would. My hope is that they were that this. What's the son's name? The director.
Ivan Reitman. I don't know.
Okay,
Junior or
well, whatever. The kid. In my hope, in my perfect world, then based on what you just said, I hope that he was sitting there thinking we should never do this again. I like how it was left. They did that. And he said, you know what? Fuck it.
On second thought,
I'm the one person
where's
who can
Bill
make
Murray?
this. Right. Oh my God. Yeah, that's funny. I respect it on that level.
Yeah, so that's the only thing.
I
that
hope that's
really,
exactly
really
the reason the
thrills me.
movie was made.
Because the chick version didn't do well.
Yeah.
I gave it no shot.
Oh, God,
They
no.
went rogue with their plot line.
So it was Kate McKinnon, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, and
and
Leslie
then-
Jones.
Here's the thing about
that
that.
that dude Leslie Jones was in it.
Here's the thing. Honestly,
She's
when you
not
look,
a dude. Unfortunately, we saw her naked.
Oh my
remember?
God, we
Those
saw her
butthole
I don't know if you,
pictures.
to see that
We saw
butthole
her,
doesn't.
like,
I wouldn't
butthole.
suggest that butthole
Fuck.
wasn't a guy's butthole in
Yeah,
reality. I mean,
can you honestly
looking
say
back
that?
on it, did it look really
There's
feminine?
something under it. It
Yeah.
didn't look like cock and balls to me.
know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you know what? Honestly, looking back on it when I think about it now, I don't have a problem, and even with the idea of the girl cast, but that should have been a continuation then. The idea that they did it all female and then just pretended like this was the first
Whoa.
one, why couldn't they have said...
They probably couldn't get the rights to do that. They probably couldn't.
No, I think it was
secure-
named Ghostbusters. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, who knows what kind of.
I'm just saying, like, when I think about it now, like, now I'm thinking
You know why
about
I
it.
didn't like it and didn't give it a chance was because I didn't appreciate being told how fucking dope these chicks are and they can do anything guys can do and go fuck yourself. Just make a good movie. Make a good movie. You guys have all made decent movies before.
It should have been a
I don't
continuation.
I don't need the pressure of it's time to break the glass ceiling. Women can do anything. Good. Then go do it. So I had no interest in it. Maybe it's a great movie.
It's so funny because it's really a win-win for them. If it made money, it wins, and they just be quiet about, oh, it's about time, and see. And if they lose, they just go, yep, see, America's sexist. It's such a win-win.
No, maybe you made a shitty movie that no one wanted to see. And maybe your public comments about, men this and men that, and women rule the world. Good.
Women's.
Women's.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
Go make that stupid movie and get all the women to go see it. Oh, yeah, women don't give a shit about Ghostbusters for the most part.
Right, it's a teenage boy thing, really.
Yeah. And anyway, U.S. Catholic priests. No, it's not the start of a joke. Fortunately for them, they have described, some of them are describing the turmoil that has, because of the sex scandal, abuse of the Catholic
Oh, I haven't
priests.
heard about this. What?
Yeah.
What?
So now everyone thinks we're all predators. Well,
It's tough, man.
yeah, more than a century ago.
That's got to be a tough thing.
Yeah, they're talking about waves of Catholic immigrants settled into, that Boston, Massachusetts area, Western Massachusetts, mill towns, helping build churches and schools to accommodate their faith. Today, the priests leading those churches are under siege due to stress, challenges, and sex abuse scandals complicating their lives, and those are their fellow priests across America.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you got to blame for that, but you know what I mean? That you fuck enough kid mouths, there's gonna be some pushback. You know what I mean? Society's not gonna be.
I think that's an
cool with
accurate
that,
statement.
right?
I think that is, yeah.
So the Reverend Mark Seltzer is among those trying to persevere. Last year, his schedule got even busier amid worsening shortage of priests. They can't get priests anymore. And it's the one detail from that whole story that I found most fascinating, that it was so prevalent, the kid fucking stuff that was going on. People were going into the priesthood for access to kids.
Man.
That is a statement that will haunt me forever. That predatory, a nation like, oh, I gain cover, but I'm gonna go become
Be
a
a
fucking
Boy Scout leader?
priest.
I don't really like the woods.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking, pocket knife and carve wood to
Or-
bang
or-
kids. I could just pretend to, preach the Lord's work and then mouth fuck kids. Great. Take advantage of the poorest kids with one parent who's working all the time. Awful. So yeah, they can't get priests, and so he's the Diocese of Springfield named him administrator of a parish in Holyoke, which is a northern neighbor town, where he lives alone in a mansion-sized rectory while serving as spiritual leader to the families. Why does it have to be mansion-sized? You know what I mean? He lives alone in a mansion-sized, provided for free. He says he loves being a priest. Yeah, yet he's frank about the ever-evolving stresses that leave him nostalgic for the priesthood he entered in '83. I bet a lot of priests would like to go back to 1983. Priesthood back then, when people weren't sniffing around all the time, getting all nosy.
Right, pre-internet.
It was a simpler time then. There's a real longing, a mourning for that church that was, when there was a greater fraternity among priests. Yeah, the ones fucking kids. What are you talking about?
God, does that sound bad?
That sounds so bad. Can't we go back to the old days when none of you guys paid attention to us?
What about the days when we just, we didn't let the people in the town learn to read, and we just told them what was up, and don't get nosy, don't start learning how to read.
Stay away.
And we know what this says.
Kids do tell tall tales.
We know what this says. We don't need you reading it.
Remember, I'm a trusted pillar of the community. So yeah, he's like, he's mourning for the church that was, and the fraternity among priests, and the church was not facing all these scandals. Who needs those? Can't we put those back in the closet where they belong? Weighing on the entire Catholic clergy in the U.S. is the ripple effect of the long-running crisis arising from the sex abuse committed by priests. It caused many honorable priests to sense an erosion of public support. Really? Did you sense that? I would hope you sensed a little bit of erosion from public support. And to question the leadership of some of their bishops. That dismay is often compounded by increased workloads because of the priest shortage. Absolute work.
A lot of work trickling down to the good guys, right?
Yeah. They're saying guys that they're like graduated, University of Priest, whatever it is that they go.
Seminary.
They're doing 3 years and then they're getting their own churches. It's usually 10. Like you learn and learn.
It's like accelerated.
Yeah, because you don't have
Accelerated
enough.
program, yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's a good time to become a
God, if you-
non-kid fucking priest. I'd
Right.
say.
It's perfect time for that.
If they could lean up on the you could have sex and a wife, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be he's talking about the thought. If you think about that, like they make okay money, honestly.
Really?
I think so. Like
It's the average.
I don't know. Let me see. I think they do.
Go it.
What are you talking? What their
Average
their-
income for a priest.
Yeah.
Whatever. They get free housing. They
Right, all that shit.
probably like what you can pull out of the till. At the end of the service.
Here we go. This one for me, one for God.
I gotta eat too. You're just trying to be a good priest, and now everyone thinks you're a sex offender. If you walk in the park with your collar on, people think you're on the lookout for children. Some have been spat upon.
Dude, think about
Still
that.
better than being mouth fucked by your priest.
Yeah, but you agree. Not all of them are
Right. Yeah, so
I
they're
don't
doing
know.
it for the right
They
way.
lied so long about it. I don't know which ones are.
I
in the
understand,
shadows.
and that's the crux of the story. Is everybody's being looked upon with a
Sure.
jaundiced eye. But just think, if you're like a good guy, and you're devoted to this, like that's
You're right.
brutal,
It's very true, and we'd say the same thing with cops.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with cops. It's like, come on, man. 99.9% of these guys are
Yeah.
just
Looks like with priests, maybe 20%.
maybe a bigger amount.
Yeah.
It
But-
was the denials and it was the cover-ups that is so bad, all under the name of,
Oh,
while
dude, it's
using the Lord's name.
the worst.
Think about
So evil, man.
Think about what it did to religion. People
Yeah.
even on the fence, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, dude, that is so evil.
Well, this is a microcosm of that. Think of it. There's a guy who let's presume he's a good dude, has no interest in children at
Yes,
all.
right,
Just wants
right.
to help people the best he can, and he's going, yeah. I mean, I can't walk in a park without being looked at.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
that's the black eye that's been put on these people.
Dude, that episode of South Park where the priest, like, they're all going to church every week just to make fun of the priest and make jokes about kid fucking. They're like, oh yeah, happy Sunday morning, folks. I'll see you at church. And they just go in there and mock the priest all fucking time.
Just heckle him.
And so he ends up leaving the church, the priest. He's wandering around the town in little Butters Stotch kid. He's like, oh, he befriends the priest. And he's like, come on, you gotta, you taught me to be brave and stand up to bullies and blah, blah, blah. You got to too. And so Butter starts hanging out with this priest. And everywhere they go into the house, and the dad comes downstairs, he's like, no way. Don't move. I got to get my camera. No one's going to believe it. He's playing fucking childhood games and shit with their priest. And it's like, oh my God. It looks, it's one of the funniest fucking episodes
Sort of reminds
I've
me
ever
of
seen.
the Rickety Cricket character
Oh,
from
yeah,
It's
for
Always
sure.
Sunny,
That
right?
is funny to think
Where
when
they
I watch-
drove him out of the priesthood.
Yes, like when I watch episodes in this
Oh my
season,
God, yeah, that
I
guy's
sometimes
great.
Yeah.
forget that like he
He's a
was
priest.
a priest, and D
just
is
the lowest piece of
ruined
shit.
his life.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. In the episode this season, he offered to push a guy off the roof just to do it.
Yeah.
like,
He's come a long way.
The Springfield Diocese, like many across the U.S., has a long history of sex abuse scandals. In the early 90s, priest Richard Levine was defrocked. Oof, that's a serious thing. And
Yeah, you
several
want
of
to keep your frock if at all possible.
once you're frocked,
Keep it.
the worst thing that can happen to you is being defrocked, right?
Hold
I
on
would
to
think.
that frock tightly.
Frock you. I'm not. No, get your hands off my frock, motherfrocker. So anyway, several of his victims received cash settlements. 2004 grand jury indicted Thomas Dupree on 2 counts of child molestation. This is all in this area. So if I see a priest collared up proper walking in a park, I might have to take his picture. Like I just would. Seltzer had hoped the abuse crisis was going away. Can we be done with that now? But it resurfaced dramatically over the past 2 years. Abuse allegations led to former Cardinal Theodore McCarrick's ouster, and a Pennsylvania grand jury report asserted that about 300 priests had abused at least 1,000 children in the state over the decades. It opened up an old wound, and now we're back to ground zero. Poor guy. If there's even a whiff that he was doing any mouth fucking of kids, he better be clean, Seltzer. I was ordained at a time when the church was so alive. There was so much optimism. Then things began to change quickly. It's changed the way people look at us. Church has lost credibility, and it's hard to get it back again. Yeah, I bet.
trust is hard to get and easy to lose. Right?
That's right.
Look at he leans back.
That's what my dad always told me.
So this California psychologist, I can't remember his name, but who cares? He says even priests deeply devoted to their work are upset. A lot are angry at bishops and the institutional church for screwing up. A lot of them feel they've been thrown under the bus. They're also concerned that one of these days someone will accuse them of misbehavior.
Well, I would imagine
even
those
if
people,
they've done nothing wrong.
I would imagine those people. When he says a lot of them are even angry, I would, like Jay said, if you're one who really believes in religion and you're thinking you're doing, you would be livid at the situation in reality, not just like angry, not just kind of like you would be livid.
But dude, the cover-ups were so deep at the highest levels of the
right.
I mean, you're talking about the Vatican,
well, and that's the thing. Like,
so for them, it's like they couldn't even speak out. It'd be like you know, shitting all over your boss.
Well, that's like in reality, like another byproduct where Jay talks about like a guy, say he's not a bad person. He walks to the like they probably lost a lot of real legit priests because like they were just like, you know what, dude. I know that I'm good. I'm not fucking. If I talk out, I'm gonna this, that.
Well, you're a huge target now too.
And
even if you've done nothing,
right?
Yeah,
everybody's gonna believe you if you allege, oh yeah, that guy, he molested me. You're like, no, I didn't, man.
That's another thing.
And you know what?
Wearing my collar, my frock.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, Jay, and He's put this in front of you. You know, sometimes you're gonna have to go through some troubling times.
There you go.
And you got to find a way to fire through it, priest.
Just like Job.
Yeah, Job. Exactly. I don't know what he did, but I like that name.
I know just enough.
Yeah, the guy from Arrested Development. Great character.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So he said that this psychologist is like, the priests are asking me. He's counseling all these priests, and he's like, they're asking, did I do something 30 years ago that could be misconstrued?
Oh my gosh! If
That
you
will
even
come back
ask
and
yourself
haunt me?
that as a priest, like the answer is yes. It's like to Ed Smart yesterday, the answer is yes, and to a priest who has to ask himself that, dude.
Did you put your dick in a kid?
Oh my god!
Did you put your dick in a kid?
Like this?
I mean, it was. I mean,
shouldn't be anything even close.
Jay, have you done anything in the last 30, 40 years with a kid that could
No.
be misconstrued?
No.
Taken the wrong way.
No.
Out of context.
Well, one time
Did
I
you
was
finger
touching
his
the kid's
butthole?
dick, but
No.
it was for real reasons. It was for valid reasons I was touching that dick.
Sometimes a priest. I know.
You had an itch.
Got to get the devil out, the demon out.
Yeah.
Did I do something 30 years ago that could be misconstrued that will come back and haunt me?
Dude.
That's a question I've never asked myself.
Dude.
Like you
Especially as a priest.
I know.
I mean, I guess.
Yes, my child is all you should say to a kid. Yes, my child.
Unless he's putting it under such an umbrella of like, around some adults made an off-color
dick joke?
joke or something. I guess.
Priests can't make dick jokes.
I
Steve.
know,
they
but I'm
shouldn't
not
be
even
making
saying
dick
above
jokes.
reproach.
I'm not even saying a dick joke. I'm just saying, like, I don't even know. Like,
I know they say no one is without sin, but I want priests to be as close to that fucking line as you can get.
Certainly,
Dick
like
jokes?
pedophilia, right?
Yeah, that's off limits completely.
My God.
For any profession, like that's the one where you're like, really?
Wow.
The priest?
Wow.
Man, what if, the Boy Scouts I can see, the priesthood, that's just crazy. Sometimes a priest is confronted by an anonymous accusation from 30 or 40 years ago and doesn't have a chance to defend himself. He used to be innocent until proven guilty. Now a lot of priests feel it's been turned upside down. Again, these are all self-inflicted wounds, guys. You know what I mean? Like, these are very much self-inflicted. Substance abuse among priests is a long-standing problem. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
There's that stereotypical Irish priest, right, who's got a bottle of something.
Yeah.
nip.
Yeah, a little nip.
Dip it into the Sunday wine a little early.
Right.
Substance abuse among priests is a long-standing problem, but has been aggravated by recent developments. No, don't blame the priest fucking kids for your substance abuse.
Honestly,
Stop
I
it.
forget what I read into the reasoning that went back to why the celibacy thing, but honestly, like, even the kid fucking and some of the abuse of that stuff, I think if they really rethought this idea of this celibacy, like, dude,
Totally.
if you're
I
really
bet that's the genesis of it, right?
Yeah.
There's a frustration. There's an inability to have regular sexual relations.
You're
and
supposed
so
to
you,
have fucking,
right.
this
Aren't they
shit.
going
They're
more towards
human.
that way?
I
don't know what Catholic rules are. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either, but
I heard, I wish I could remember, because I honestly read
I think
something.
the younger priests coming up today, I think they mentioned it maybe in this article too, that they're, apparently there's a lot of pushback on the alphabet people, the LGBTQ. They're still not cool with that, but I think, hey, settle down with someone. don't grab a neighborhood kid.
Yeah.
So, their longstanding alcohol problems, drug problems, aggravated by recent developments, including the residual shame arising from the abuse scandals and increased isolation as more priests now manage parishes on their own. So they've got these big, churches to deal with. They're all alone, and they go home, and it's like, why wouldn't you take a little nip? Stelzer, we're Lone Rangers. Substance abuse might go undetected for longer when you're living alone. A lot of those in treatment now say it was because of isolation, working harder and longer, and not feeling support from leadership.
That would definitely be true, by the way. Like, you don't have a wife or kids, and yes, there's, nuns and stuff, but you go into your little area.
Yeah, but they're at the nunnery, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you go back into
Looking
your area.
sexy
and
as
you're,
shit in their little hat. Oh man.
So creepy.
Many priests are saying they no longer know one another. Others, due to the priest shortage, are forced to live in isolation, manage multiple parishes. Poor guys.
Big trouble, man.
Another change noted by several priests: some parishioners, rather than showing deference to their pastors, openly challenge them now. So they're getting
Not on such a high pedestal anymore, huh?
Right.
Wow.
In the past, they might have disagreed, but they'd be courteous. Now it's different. They think that you're not Republican enough or Democrat enough, depending on which end of the political spectrum they occupy. They want you to preach what they want to hear, and they will confront you. Still better than getting your fucking mouth fucked by your priest. I'd say, some of the problems they're dealing with. Police officers, firefighters, and paramedics are labeled first responders. Priests also merit that badge. We deserve it. They see trauma and loss on a very regular basis. They get called out to hospitals, deal with grieving families, with lost and dead children. It becomes overwhelming when it's day in and day out, and you don't have the resources to meet the needs. Still, the priests treasure their jobs despite the challenges. Mark Stelzer holds on to his role as a comforter. For a lot of people, I'm the last person they saw while they were still alive. There's an energy and grace in those moments. That's true, man.
That is true.
They would see a tremendous amount of horrible loss.
Yeah, and I think it's smart for people to pause who just want to like wipe out the church or whatever. There would be a huge hole
in society,
if
there wasn't church,
healthcare.
Yeah.
If Catholicism just went away.
Oh,
so,
no doubt. I mean, think about what would happen to the homeless
major
in this
problems,
country
yeah.
without the churches.
Correct.
I mean, seriously, like they will open their doors. Not the blue carpeted one in Texas. What's his name?
Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen. He won't, even during a fucking
Kanye's buddy.
Yeah, during a hurricane and flood or whatever. He won't.
Well, they
but-
just got new carpet,
Yeah, I know. No, there was something in here, Jay, though, that did address the young priests that are coming up.
Oh, and
shit.
it's like the old dudes are grandfathered into that rule, and the new ones are allowed a little leniency with the.
Something like that.
You gotta let them get
married.
married. Like I said, I wish I could remember, but the reasoning for it, like it's not in the Bible
Right.
that says they need to do it. It was just a thing that, and I forget what the reason was, but it was a thing they
Doctrine,
created.
right?
Yeah, so it's like, dude, they're still a human being. They should, and not even just sex, but just like a person to be with emotionally and do the journey with.
No, that is I mean, they say that's the worst thing that humans can do is like be isolated.
Yeah.
That's
Why
like,
wouldn't you want a healthy person at the pulpit, right?
what is the reason for that? Does anyone know why they?
Dude, it
why
goes
they?
back centuries,
Just so some asshole just made that up. Like, yeah,
Very
whatever.
likely, yes.
That's crazy.
I know.
Why? That would be the first question. Be like, wait, hold on. I can
Why-
never
why-
bang
why?
anything.
Yeah.
I can't even touch it.
Shows devotion, it's discipline, right?
There's so many ways to show discipline and devotion.
Yeah.
Like to a woman.
Yeah.
Could you equally do it that way instead of no woman?
I guess you're foregoing this urge, right? And you're instead channeling it.
Is there
Not saying it's the right thing. I'm just.
Is there any group
guessing.
of people on planet Earth that has more nocturnal emissions than the priest group?
Right.
I mean, that shit's coming out one way or another.
Right.
Genie's got to get out of the bottle somehow, Jay.
Hey, Arnold Roofing. They are a listener-owned business that serves Southeast Michigan and surrounding areas since 1998. They specialize in repairs, replacements, and new roofs, of course. Arnold Roofing has the experience and knowledge to provide you a reliable product backed by quality workmanship and extensive warranties. Get this, they'll do the work with no money down. That means you pay upon completion, and that means Arnold Roofing is dedicated to your complete satisfaction. So get roofed up proper. Go to arnoldroofing.com for free estimates and more information, or call 248-634-0189.
Cuba Gooding Jr. to the principal's office, please. Cuba Gooding Jr.
What's the tally in the 20s, right?
22, yeah. Not bad. That's a good number. I mean, he's no Cosby, but Cosby's a legend.
Well, and this is just he's a grabby guy, right?
A little handsy.
There's no allegations of like he raped anybody, is there?
It sounds like he goes to the bar, gets shit-faced,
Yeah,
and then
starts
gets
grabbing
really
titties.
titty grabby and buttocks grabby. 7 more women now have accused Cuba of sexual misconduct, bringing that total of accusers to 22. He said to have made unwanted contact with women, groping, kissing them in incidents in New York, California, and Utah. The new accusers were revealed in court papers filed yesterday as prosecutors hoped a judge would allow 19 more women to testify. He's accused of sliding his hand on a woman's top and grabbing her titty as he walked behind her at a Los Angeles film event in 2005. Why? You're at a film event. You're probably tuxedoed up. Why are you reaching in and grabbing a titty?
Yeah.
Seems weird. The woman says she said, "Excuse me," and walked to the bathroom. Then he tried to follow her inside, but she pushed him out. One woman claims that during the '09 Sundance Film Festival, she went to an event with Cuba Gooding Jr., then a concert where after hearing she wasn't drinking, he responded, "Aren't you a picky bitch?" See, probably easier to grope when they're drunk.
Definitely.
He seemed agitated when she said she wanted to leave and offered to walk her out, but he began to kiss her without consent in a secluded hallway. When she pushed him away, telling him she was married, he placed his hand on her buttocks. Well, what's a married woman doing going to the fucking event and then a concert with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Unless
Whatever.
Like, right,
I mean,
unless it's like a PR
yeah.
situation where it's like, but I mean,
He placed his hands forcefully into the crotch area of her tights, placing his fingers on her anus.
oh
Yeah, it caused
On her
hot.
anus.
Yeah, that's what it says in the
Yeah.
court filing on her
Touched
anus.
my anus.
Wouldn't you say butthole?
Yeah, but if you're the lawyer typing it up,
It's
her
anatomical.
anus.
He placed his finger on her anus. I'm never gonna
if
think
he
of
said, "I'm going to touch your butthole," that would be in quotes. I'm
Right.
going to touch your butthole.
Makes
But the
perfect
fact
sense.
that he touched her butthole becomes he touched her anus in a
Anus,
court
yeah.
filing.
anus.
it actually
Anus.
makes sense.
The anus.
Because that is like a descriptor. When you say anus, dude, you know
Yeah,
what they're
Drives
saying.
it home, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Right,
really does.
Means
It's
that fucking
it's
that hole.
it's a powerful word.
It is.
Anus is a
Ugh.
powerful word, but it should be used
That's a tight
more.
grab.
You know
to
what I
get
mean?
to the anus. That is not just a kind of.
It's not just grabbing him by the pussy.
Yeah, but if you call someone an asshole, that doesn't seem as powerful. But if you call someone an anus,
It's like, ooh,
guy's a
ugh.
fucking
Wow.
anus. Let's try to bring anus back. Isis, why are you being such an
I
anus?
don't know. I'm uncomfortable with
Yeah,
it, honestly.
it's gonna take some time to
It's
get used
just,
to. But dude, does he's an asshole carry any weight?
No.
It's thrown around so
You don't even think of
carelessly.
an asshole. The problem with anus is immediately you think
Boom.
of that
angry
place.
spider.
Yes.
So yeah,
weird thing.
he placed his hand forcefully into the crotch area of the tights, placing his fingers on her anus, and it caused the crotch of her tights to rip.
There's a hole.
Jeez.
He fingered her anus and ripped her fucking tights.
Holy
Dude,
cow.
there's a hole in the middle of our butt cheeks that just opens and closes to release shit because we've eaten food
And expel gases.
and we need to digest
The
it.
meat cubes have to come out somehow. to eat.
Right. You know how she escaped from that?
How?
She bit him on the cheek and he recoiled.
Oh, wow.
Great move.
Ooh.
That is a good move.
I do
actually.
not want to be bit on the cheek. Doesn't that sound really painful?
Yeah. Oof.
I mean, the cheek. I'd rather be bit in the neck than the
Oh,
cheek.
Damn, man. Bit me in the... No, not the doughy, supple area of your neck.
I don't want to be shot in the neck, but
I would rather be bit in the cheek than
Would
the
you?
neck.
I think
Oh,
that would be
God, the neck.
terribly painful. I don't know. Well, if I ever run into Cuba Gooding Jr., I'll ask him how painful it is to be bitten in the cheek. Another woman accused him of sliding his hand down the back of her pants and cupping her buttock at an Atlanta, Georgia restaurant. After repeatedly telling him she wasn't interested, he told her, "I know you want to be an actress. I can ruin you." I love those power-wielding dudes. Another new accuser claims he forcefully, and I mean forcefully, grabbed her vagine twice at a restaurant in Malibu. How do you do that twice? Would it have to be like bang, bang?
The crazy thing is this must work, right? It's on some level.
Yeah,
Right.
probably.
Because some chicks are like, oh, yeah, okay. Go
So-
home with that guy. He's Cuba?
I think it's Cuba.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah,
Show me the money guy.
yeah.
What else?
Radio?
Yeah. Boys in the Hood or no?
Oh, yeah. You might be right.
I don't know, man. Seems
So-
kind of washed up to me.
Anyone care to take a guess at what he says? So he grabs this chick forcefully by the vagine twice at a restaurant in Malibu. What do you think he said to her?
I moved on you like a bitch.
That's a great guess.
I don't know. I don't even have I don't. What? So he says this to her. He grabs her.
Yeah,
what?
I'm gonna crush this tonight or something.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
nothing?
Come on, E. Come up with
Nothing?
something. You got it.
I moved on her like a bitch is great.
I don't know.
So he grabs her by the vagine twice and says,
Show me the money. I don't know.
that's actually not bad. No. Actually, number one answer and the correct answer is, you're peeing on me tonight.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. It would have been a tough one to get. If either of you would have guessed that, I would have been really impressed.
You know, now that I'm looking at his Wikipedia and all the films he's made, I don't want to shortchange him. He was Boy Getting Haircut in Coming to America.
He was.
Who I kind of remember.
Shut up.
Like, picture that barber scene.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
He's the
Mom,
kid.
call him Cash Clay.
Yeah.
That one?
Yes.
This is funny because, like, dude, when we
Few
when
Good
we-
Men.
when
Yeah,
we
he was
look-
one of the
yeah.
guys who was accused.
When we looked at
He
these
was,
pe-
yeah, one of the two. Was it Rodriguez? And
No, one of them was killed.
One of 'em
right?
was killed.
Rodriguez, I think, and then there
Yeah.
were two guys who were accused of doing the Code Red.
yeah, the Code Red.
You're goddamn right, I did.
You know, when we go through these people's,
Did you order the Code Red?
when we go through these people's
You're goddamn right I am.
pages or whatever, IMBD pages, like,
IMDb,
you know,
but close enough.
I am whatever. You look at these, like, okay, yeah, is he whatever? Is he a big star? No, not anymore.
Dude,
but like,
he was.
But
He's
no, but
worked
like,
a
won
ton, though.
he won an Oscar.
That's what I was
He's an
getting at.
Oscar-winning actor.
That's what I was gonna get at, though, Jay. Like
Yeah, but we always challenge the credibility of the Oscars. Like, you can't just point at that as like proof that he's the shit.
Well, you can when you're going for roles. Like they will tell you anytime someone's Golden Globe
okay, but
nominated
what are we
or
talking about?
Oscar-worthy,
What are we talking about? Are we saying he's a great actor?
That's a level of success that is a notch. An Oscar is different.
Of course it
I
is.
think it's, as an
But
actor to be able to say he's an Oscar winner.
What's our
big.
conversation? That he's a good actor or that he's a successful
He's a
actor?
fine actor. He's fine. I thought he was perfectly
I certainly
fine
wouldn't
as
say-
Boy Getting Haircut.
I
in that
certainly
scene.
wouldn't say somebody who won an Oscar has to be a great actor.
Well, no, but it's going to lead to a lot of work
course.
because they can bill you as an Oscar-winning actor.
Yep, and he had a lot of work in 08, 09,
That's
10,
what I was
11,
trying to say,
12,
like, you
13.
look at that, I
He's done
mean-
a lot, like not a lot that I really recognize.
but if you but like when
Is
Jay
he
Chris-
doing I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here yet? Because if he's not doing
No.
that type shit, Dancing with the Stars.
Well, I think about when J. Chris Newberg had that. I mean, this is a long time ago, but he had that episode where he talks about, people go, "What happened to them?" and this and that. And it's like he says, like, how hard it is. Like, you're right, he won an Oscar, but then how hard it is to stay in that spot. And yes, like, is he? Again, is he whatever? Is he a superstar? No, not anymore. It looks like. But dude, these are a lot of jobs.
a lot
that
of
he's-
direct to video, but he's being paid something.
right, and he's not
Yeah,
going to
that
fucking
could be
work
more
at
back
the.
end,
Yeah, but he's not going to work at the fucking the regular job. He's not sitting there on the
Daddy
on the street.
Daycare. I mean, he got a
Daycare
Golden
would've been-
Raspberry Award for
No,
worst
that's
actor.
not good. But those ones that you're talking about in the middle there, Radio, and he was in Zoolander.
Played Tom in What Love Is.
He was the leading man in he was the
Yeah.
guy. He wasn't supporting, best supporting actor. He was the lead.
Rod Tidwell put him on the map. Fair to say.
Hell yeah, for sure. So the new filing also reveals some new details about the September 9th, 2018 incident he's charged for. He's accused of kissing the cheek of a server at an Italian restaurant in Lavo in New York without her consent. She claims he later grabbed her neck and touched her tooth with his lips as he tried to kiss her mouth, but she turned her head away.
Touched your tooth. That's so
By the way,
specific.
it is, right?
Doesn't it just lend a ton of credibility?
It's more specific than the anus mention.
Because you can imagine that. Yeah,
Yes.
she's trying to turn away, and his lip grazed my tooth.
Ugh.
Like, you can just picture a woman telling that story, and,
Yes.
the attorney going, "Okay, and wait, his lip touched your tooth." Okay,
That's going to be a good one.
Go again.
Because nobody would make that up.
Yeah,
Like that's just too finite of a detail. You know what I mean? It's like he grabbed my butt, he grabbed my tit.
But if you don't want that to happen, you recognize that touch. Oh, he touched my tooth.
He grabbed her neck, touched her tooth with his lips as he tried to kiss her mouth, but she turned her head away. He licked another server's hand that night.
By the way, you guys are like the top up here right at the beginning. 2016. I mean, O.J. Simpson, An American Crime Story.
Oh, yeah.
and episodes on American Horror Story. Those are
Yeah,
money that
yep.
would have
Oh, I didn't get to TV. Yeah, you're right.
that would have lended to some money
TV's
and
almost
shit.
more credible nowadays. I mean, some of the work being done on TV is better than the films.
Did you?
He did
Well,
the Book of
on streaming
Negroes.
services, there is
The Book of Negroes.
The
You
Book
can't
of
say
Negroes.
that.
He played Samuel Francis in 2 episodes.
He's also been charged for things that include grabbing a woman's titty at a rooftop bar near
This
Times
dude needs
Square
to
in
stay
June.
out of bars and restaurants.
right.
That's
then
the
the-
solution.
And then he grabbed the ass of a female server at a nightclub last October.
Yeah.
Claudia Oshry claimed in a podcast that at 16 she was sexually assaulted by him. His lawyer said Monday he has and does deny all allegations of criminal conduct. Unfortunately, people come out of the woodwork making false allegations against Cuba, as oftentimes happens when a celebrity is accused by a DA's office in public forum. The spurious, uncharged allegations offered by the DA's office are so ancient and outdated
Spurious.
and lacking in details, it impairs the defendant from defending him against them.
How about the detail where he grabbed the woman's anus and
Yeah,
ripped her
poked-
tights?
Yeah, poked her anus.
How about the one where he tried to kiss the woman and she turned and he kissed her tooth?
Well,
That's probably just happens so often he wouldn't remember. So
those
this
are
chick,
outdated,
rando.
ancient.
Some rando. I tried to-
2018. What are we
try to
even talking about?
You try to kiss someone. Like what? Come on, man.
Fuck. He can't even defend against himself. These ancient allegations from 2016, 17, and 18.
Like, can you imagine being taken down by an attempted kiss?
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
If you're gonna sexually assault someone, if you're gonna go to these lengths, try to bed some chick, just trying to kiss them,
Kiss 'em.
kiss them.
Well, the hope is that kiss is going to
Have you ever gone in to kiss someone and it wasn't? It was like, oh shit, I read that way wrong.
Probably in like 6th grade.
No, the answer's no. I don't think I've ever gone in, like, and it was like, you know, your advances were like, I'm pretty damn sure, like, this is going to be
Yeah,
okay.
kissing. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
kissing is
and 6th
so
grade,
dumb anyway.
I know
right?
it really is.
So if you're gonna do it, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, I gotta do
Right.
this.
Yeah, I think this will work. Have you ever been like,
I've
slapped?
on
or-
some level, I'm lucky that I've, I guess, never been rejected. But on the same hand, I've kissed so few people. There are so few of those
Yeah.
moments I've had to read the situation.
Well, these are so ancient and outdated. It was like, who can remember 2009 when he was sticking his finger in the anus
Yeah.
of a chick through her tights?
Ask
you
him,
know?
can he remember the movie Jerry Maguire making that movie?
When was that?
Well, that was 19. Let's see.
97?
That was 96.
Okay.
So if he can
90s.
remember
Ancient,
that,
outdated. Who would remember it? Who would remember?
does he
such
remember the
ancient-
film A Few Good Men? That was 1992.
No, so outdated and ancient. Thus, he cannot defend himself against these ancient allegations. Thus, it demonstrates that the DA's office motives in introducing these inflammatory, uncharged allegations is not for any probative value, but to
Probative.
merely gain an advantage against the defendant and prejudice the jury against the defendant.
Probative.
Probative, yeah.
Does he remember winning Best Supporting Actor?
How could he? It's ancient and outdated.
97.
No, he does not remember. He can't remember fingering a butthole of a woman in 2009 against her will.
Yeah, seriously. Somebody has to reel this dude in from any bar or restaurant.
Yeah.
Stat.
So you're seeing that. I was seeing that same pattern.
Same
I
theme.
really, and it sounds like he doesn't go there and have one or two. He gets
Yeah.
shit faced, and so when he's singing, karaoke, it's like
yeah.
he's just
Cuba
hammered.
Gooding Jr.
It's like, but that's the reality. It's got to be. It probably means 9 out of 10 times he ends up fingering a chick's butthole and she's fine with it.
Yeah.
Oh, it
probably.
means maybe not 9 out of 10, but a lot, right?
A lot.
That works
that he's
for him
that
a lot.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Because you see
Yeah.
him there. When TMZ gets video of him doing karaoke with a cocktail in his hand, dude, the whole place is crowded around him, singing with him. He's a hero to them.
The good time.
And there's a lot of people that don't
How many
pay
times
attention
has
to
he
any
said,
of this
show
shit.
me the money to someone on a phone?
Well, there's a lot of people that think about the people that like never pay attention to TMZ and stuff. So like, if you were just in a bar and you're just one of these people who doesn't pay attention to pop culture, but or not like the update with like TMZ stuff.
Yeah, you'd be like Rod
oh
Tidwell.
shit, Cuba
Yeah.
Cuba
You got
Gooding
this.
Jr. in the fucking bar doing
Yeah.
karaoke. That's
Dude,
badass.
imagine
Piano Man. Hell yeah.
I'll put that on my Snapchat. Fuck
Imagine
yeah.
if you ran into him at a bar in Royal Oak.
Yeah.
Like, people would go nuts.
Right.
They wouldn't even give a shit about the anus touching,
Nope.
the titty grabbing,
And
the
that
ass
is where it
grabbing,
gets hard,
the
dude.
tooth grazing with his lip. Gross.
That's like where you guys say it gets
Ugh.
hard too, because there would be 100 Royal Oak. One thing
he
in
could,
LA,
he
goes
could
to
clear
Royal
a bar,
Oak,
dude.
right? He goes to
could drain a bar.
right. Goes to a bar in Royal Oak. You know how many girls are going to be hoping that he fucking
Yeah.
touches her ass or something?
He could be the Pied Piper, and they'd all be the blind mice.
Right.
Is that the same story?
I think you put two
Blind
together,
Mice,
but
did I?
your point's a good one.
Yeah. He could, like Eddie Murphy talks about that. Charlie Murphy, one of his Hollywood stories, is like, we would walk into a bar and drain the fucker. Eddie would walk in, make a lap, and then wherever we were going, you just have a trail of bitches behind him. Drain it.
Wow.
And I imagine he could
Drain the swamp.
Anyway.
No,
Do we have any?
nothing.
Do you want to board off that one?
No, I'm
Yeah, I
gonna stick with
You're
it.
stay-
It's so
stand by that
ridiculous
one?
that I think people might laugh at.
You're going to stand
No.
by Drain the Swamp.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, those are hags, dude, in the bar. So
What
he's
could he
draining
do?
them.
Could he recant that? Can he
I'm sticking
wish
with
that
it.
that's
I'll let
stricken
him
from the record?
I'll let him, strike that.
I'm taking it.
You are going to hang on to that
Yeah.
comment?
Leave that on the record.
Leave it on the record.
Wow.
Can I strike something from earlier?
Sure.
When I said frock off,
Oh,
can you strike that from the record?
No, we've already gone past that.
I think he has to be in the story. I think you still
Yeah.
be in
So
the
once
story.
we get out of the story, because I think I said frock off and leave
Yeah,
mother
that's- I think it's
frocker or
great. I
something.
think
Like
we're on-
Yeah, and the fact that you followed it up with another one, I
I
don't
know.
think that's allowed. You got
I
to
was
leave the record
cringing.
as is.
Fuck, I really would have liked to have that stricken from the record.
Well, what we could do is look at some of your old tweets and talk about whether you'd want those stricken from the record.
No.
E, do you have these? Can you pull these
Oh
up?
shoot! No, did you email them?
Yeah, they should be it.
Okay.
that
So
are
this is
stricken.
here's why this is horrifying, because God only knows what was going on in 2015 when I
Yeah.
thought of something witty to say to something going on in the world.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh God, the idea of crawl. Like, why do we have my tweets?
Well, yesterday you mentioned hashtag sarcasm and that the fact that you had used that in the past to kind of soften some of your harsher tweets.
Yeah.
And we kind of bounced back and forth whether that was appropriate, whether you should just let it lie, let the tweet speak for itself.
Yeah.
And you explained yourself. But then listener Chris was nice enough to go back and
You son of a bitch.
and isolate a few.
God damn you,
Says-
Chris.
Actually, he says, here are the only 2 times Mike has used hashtag sarcasm. I'm not seeing much success. Sad. So here they are. He's been so kind as to put them all together. We have Mike Walters on 2/4/19, so it's Super Bowl evening.
Oh,
Damn, at Adam Levine brazenly shows both nips to the delight of at Twitter, yet at Janet Jackson sort of shows one for a quarter of a second and the country loses its shit. Hashtag sexist, hashtag free nipple, hashtag Super Bowl 48, whatever that is, hashtag sarcasm.
yeah.
53, what is that? Hashtag, Super Bowl.
I don't know.
I screwed
There's
that.
another mistake.
Oh,
in
that
there,
was
too.
earlier. That was just last year. I don't hate that tweet. That might have been the one where some.
You definitely don't need sarcasm there.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
know.
that.
But I think I didn't want people to think that I actually was like pro free the nipple, and
Well, they're not going to get
sexist.
that from it. You should have just left it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, I said I.
Less is more. A lot of times on Twitter,
I'm not
less is
perfect.
more. You don't need to use all the characters. Maybe you felt like, I've got some characters left.
Can you see
It's the
in-
final hashtag.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you see in there the
You also
comments
should-
back? Did someone say?
I don't think you have any.
There doesn't appear to be.
It says you have 6 likes, 0 comments.
Well, that was
Oh, Mike.
from that day.
Oh,
I mean,
Mike.
it's still waiting.
No,
I
you
mean,
would be
dude,
looking
this
at
is
it-
just from months ago. I mean, it's got time still.
Yeah.
You're going to catch up on
Maybe
the
next Super Bowl it'll pick up.
Yeah.
when Super Bowl the number's
Yeah.
different. Shit, I don't know why this won't really
Maybe,
move up.
yeah.
Sorry, it won't really go.
Maybe Adam Levine will respond.
You also should have just
I mean, you
put,
did tweet at him.
it should have just been
Yeah.
hashtag.
I think this was at the times when it was
Twitter.
like you got to tweet at people like
Well, you should. Yeah, you
you
should.
get
That was
a-
proper. Yeah, damn, Adam Levine.
at Twitter. What am I?
it
Why
should
am
have
I
been
tweeting
hashtag
at
Twitter. Yeah.
That
But
should
I
have been.
figured Twitter's part of it. That Twitter was where I was watching.
So you
the
got
story
Jack Dorsey
unfold.
just sitting there at his keyboard
Yeah,
ready.
maybe.
He's
Why
running
not?
the at Twitter account.
My options were just write Twitter or at Twitter.
I
Why
think,
not?
I think
don't
you're
know.
too focused on trying to use your characters.
I mean, I guess he's,
Maybe.
I had Redbox get back to me one time, so you never know. I mean,
Yeah, dude, I've had celebrities write
Yeah.
back and shit. Yeah, including Ricky
I just wouldn't have
Gervais.
done that Twitter in that one, but
hashtag sarcasm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree that that could be scratched in that
Yes,
instance. Okay.
yes.
If you had it over to do, you'd
I had
scratch
it, yes.
All right. The other one was Manziel won't face charges for allegedly punching his girlfriend several times! Exclamation. Good news for woman beaters everywhere! Exclamation. Hashtag sarcasm.
I would
Yeah.
have let that go and just leave it be.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
I
need
think
it.
it's a, I think it's a
I
fine.
pushed out on it because when is that from?
Let's see.
2018?
2/5/16.
16.
So the fact that you're calling them woman beaters, I mean, it's obviously sarcastic.
Well,
I don't think the sarcasm
Obviously.
saves you if someone thinks that's bad either, by the
Right.
way. Someone's not going to be like, well, you did say hashtag sarcasm.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted it to be known. Look, I'm not supporting women beaters everywhere. Hashtag sarcasm, people, before you attack. But you know what? If I'm gonna have put my neck out there, I got to be willing to take what comes with it. And
Yeah.
by softening, pillowing, I essentially put a pillow under that.
You did. You put
to
a pillow under
soften-
that tweet.
Yeah.
Lean
Put a
into it.
net underneath it.
I didn't. You know what? If you don't believe in your tweet enough to stand by it, then don't tweet it.
Now, this is interesting. This final note that Chris attached to this has to do, strangely enough, with the hashtag sarcasm, but also the reference to kid that came up yesterday. Remember when I said I should have grieved use of the word kiddo? It drives me crazy when moms are like, where are the kiddos? I have to pick up the kiddos. Yeah. And you were like, kid, but you can call somebody, hey, what's up, kid? And I was like, no, I don't think you can do that. Not since the 90s. Well, interestingly enough, Chris attaches a tweet from Ryan who says, Walters, that's not douchey at all when you call Kid Rock, quote, kid. And then he tweets at me and E, and he says, hashtag sarcasm.
Why is that? What do I call him? Kid? Kid Rock's a weird one. Because if you call him Bob...
I'd call him Mr. Richie.
If you call him Bob, you look like you're, closer to the scene than you are.
I think that's what kid does, too, though. Yeah, kid.
What?
Kid, Bob.
Kid.
Use either of those, and it's like, I see what Ryan's saying, is my point.
What I don't know what he's saying. It's douchey when I call him kid?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to... Mr. Rock? Mr. Richie?
Just call him Kid Rock.
Kid Rock. Kid. If I'm doing a story and his name's 10 times mentioned, you call him kid. I mean... Is that E? Can you make a final ruling on this? Do you think it's douchey if we're talking about Kid Rock?
I'd have to.
I'm going to call him Bob from now on.
I would
and make
have
it look
to,
like I personally.
I think there's ways you could say it where I agree. Where I would agree with you that yes, you're reading if you're reading an article very specifically and it's several times.
I would just never refer to him as kid. I don't know.
But I wouldn't. But if it's in
weird.
Any context,
you would never refer to him as kid.
If it's in any context,
I feel really weird.
I mean, it's like calling Eric Fady all the time. Like, well, Eric Fady, like you wouldn't do that. You call him Ezus, E-Rock, whatever.
E-Rock.
E-tard.
Yeah, I used to get E-Rock too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's save the rest for tomorrow.
All right, very good. Well, that'll do it for the show. A nice way to go out. Fuck, I'm never using hashtag sarcasm again. And I would hashtag that with sarcasm. Have a good day, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.